Hi guys, my name is Alex with Sunrise Farm. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're checking out the description below for all the details on today's video, as well as links, discount codes, and where to find me on other social media platforms. And let's get into today's video. You guys might notice that right now I am standing in our backyard orchard. This year, our goal was to triple our fruit production. And I'm not talking watermelons or cantaloupes or things that I grow in our yearly garden. I am talking about perennials. I am talking about things that are going to come back year after year, that are going to sustain our family's fruit needs for years to come. A couple months ago, I partnered with Rain Tree Nursery to make this dream and goal a reality. And today we're going to be doing an update on all the fruits that we planted on our property and how they're growing. If you guys missed the backyard orchard video where we planted all of the fruit trees, I will link that up above. You guys can go check that out as well. I will also be linking it down in the description. Again, all the details from today's video will be down there, like the link for Rain Tree Nursery. I cannot thank them enough, and I can't wait to show you guys the quality of products that we received from them and how they are flourishing. But first, I want to talk about a problem that we had. Shortly after we planted all of our fruit trees, they began to grow amazing and they were doing great. However, shortly into their growing, we had a huge deer problem. In fact, the deer ate every leaf off our peaches, our apples, and our cherries. Thankfully, we were able to put cages around our trees to keep them protected from the deer, but that didn't stop other problems from arising. So about 2 weeks after, I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures up and maybe some clips and videos of how our fruit trees have looked over the past few months since we planted them. Like I said, there were times when they were thriving and there were times that they were barely surviving. So after we put the cages around to keep the deer out, which did work and was successful, we noticed we had a whole other slew of problems. The Japanese beetles came out shortly after and demolished my cherry tree, and unfortunately it is still bouncing back. However, if you saw the video where we planted the fruit trees, you know that we put the cherry tree out front in the garden where we had previously chopped down a Bradford pear. So right now we're out back and all of the fruit trees out here look incredible. So I'm going to bring the camera in, give you guys a close-up, and show you how everything looks back here. So you may notice that the chickens are huddling around this fruit tree, and this right here is our green apple tree. And the reason that the chickens are around this tree is because this one also had a bug problem. So they have been eating the bugs off of it. It actually also had an aphid problem for some time, but we did notice that the ants were farming the aphids and they started to leave. So this tree is bouncing back beautifully. Again, I will put up pictures of how they have looked over the past few months because they have gone through several stages. This one actually flowered and had dozens of flowers on every branch. Up next, we're going to go over to our European pear, and I think this is probably one of the ones that I am most excited about. Again, we're a big fruit family, but I absolutely love pears, specifically European pears. This one looks really great. I am excited to do a video on how we prune our fruit trees, which will be coming later when these go dormant. I also cleaned up and mowed and put down fresh mulch around the bottom. Shout out to our guys at Chip Drop. We just got another huge drop. Over here is our peach tree. Like I said, we had a huge deer problem and then a pest problem. But everything has bounced back really well, and these trees are incredibly strong and resilient. I did leave the tags on these, and I will be pulling the tags off all of them after this video because they have reached the point where they are starting to outgrow the tags, which is incredible. Up next, we are going to do our Asian pear. I am so excited to have one of these because I absolutely love kimchi, and that's why I grow a lot of our cabbage. Conveniently, this was actually one of the trees that the deer nor bugs bothered nearly as much as some of the other ones. I can't get over how green and beautiful all of these trees look. So those are the 4 from Rain Tree Nursery that we planted out back here. Let me show you guys the other fruits that we have out here. We have a yellow apple tree that we have been training. Again, the deer got to it and it is very sad. Very, very sad. It needs some serious trimming and pruning. We pruned it back in the fall, and look at the top. All these pieces going up are all new growth. And then our figs. This is one of our varieties of fig tree. They look absolutely incredible. And then this is the other variety. This one is absolutely huge. It's significantly larger than our other one, even though they're the same age. They are different varieties and they were pruned differently. This one I want to say is probably closer to 10 feet by 10 feet, 10 feet wide and 10 feet tall, as where the other one is closer to 5 by 8. So if you guys have watched my other videos, you may have seen the video where I did shout outs to some of the YouTubers that I absolutely love and who are inspirations for me and gardening, who have taught me a ton. And one of my favorites is James Prigioni. If you guys are looking into how to prune your fruit trees or how to prune your grapes, anything garden related, honestly, I love his channel, but specifically his fruit related content is how I've learned to train my grapes, prune my fig trees, as well as all my other trees. Speaking of grapes, that's where we're headed next. All right, guys, we are out front now, and this is where our grapes are planted. If you missed that video, again, I will link it up top as well as down in the description. We planted out 4 grapes, and we planted out 2 purple varieties of Concord grapes and 2 seedless green grapes. If I can find the picture, I will put it up. We actually had these cute little grapes on these vines earlier this year. I did pop them off because obviously it is their first year and we want them to focus more on producing healthy root systems as well as strong vines to produce heavy fruit in the future. I'm gonna grab the phone and show you guys a close-up. If you did miss the video where I planted these, I planted 2 varieties on one side and 2 on the other side. The sun comes up this way behind the greenhouse. Let's check them out. So I'm gonna be honest, I will have to go back to my previous video to figure out which side is which. I do know that this is the first one over here. You can see the main base of it there, but look at it branching out. And I was out here just a couple days ago running this through the lattice, and you can see it has a couple of main shoots off the bottom. So we have this one right here, and then we have this one right here that is thick and huge, and off of that one it has its own individual little vines. Another problem we have seen with these grapes is the Japanese beetles. But unfortunately, when you organic garden the way that we do, the best measure is to be out here daily, checking everything and pulling things off. So that's the first one on this side, and this is the second one. Again, you can see the base of it, and it's separated here and V'd off. And it's grown out beautifully. You can see the ones on the back side showing up. Again, I have just been weaving these through the lattice just like that. So here on the back side, you can see again where we planted it, the main base of it, and then where it has started to branch off in all different directions. That is the one from the other side. And then this is the second one on this side. The main base up in there, and then where it has grown up and out. I want to say that this one here, the first one that I showed you, is probably the biggest and doing the best. And I'm just continuing to weave all of these different vines through this lattice. We want this lattice pretty much covered in vines. Again, none of these are going to actually produce fruit this year. Fruits are a very long-term time commitment, but it's something that you want to start early because it can take 3 to 5 years to even see fruit production from things like trees, vines, and bushes that will actually give you a substantial harvest. Up next, we're going to head over to the blueberry field. So just like with the fruit trees, I did recently clean up these blueberry bushes. They look absolutely incredible. We are starting our big field. We do have other blueberries, and we chose to start with 2 different northern high bush varieties. We have our smaller ones over in this row, and these are our Elliott variety. And then we have our larger ones over in this row, and this is our Chandler variety. Again, throughout the video, I will be putting up pictures and videos of things that I have taken. I have fertilized, harvested, and just taken general photos of these plants as they have grown. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am genuinely impressed with the quality of all of the fruits that we received from Raintree. I am actually planning on placing another order this fall to pre-order 100 to 200 strawberries for next season. We're going to be adding in a nice long row of strawberries over there. Again, always increasing our fruit production. We do have strawberries currently, but we want to be able to harvest enough that we can preserve. So just like before, I'm going to bring the camera in, show you guys how wonderful these look. I will do a later video when I prune and trim everything up for next season. Again, we want to wait until all of these plants go dormant. We don't want to shock them or cause any problems, but let's go check out our raspberries and our blackberry bushes next. All of them just look so strong and healthy. They've all put off new growth this year. One of the big positives this year is that we haven't had to water, and not because your fruit trees don't need water. In fact, the first year that they're planted, they need the most attention. But we have been getting nightly rain showers, which has helped a ton. All right, over here next to the pasture is where we have planted our raspberry and blackberries. And our thought process is we've planted them about 4 feet away from the fence line, meaning that the goats will keep their side of the fence clean, while all we have to do is keep our side mowed up. So right here we have a raspberry, and you can see it does have cute little raspberries on it. This is from this year. Again, everything is linked down below. It has new growth here where the deer have just eaten every leaf off of it. Up next we have our blackberry. Again, the deer just ate the leaves right off of it. I've been trying to keep the weeds around it high because I'm not concerned about things like raspberries and blackberries being choked out, but to hopefully deter the deer and kind of hide the plants. And here is our other blackberry. Again, the deer did snip some of the leaves off of it, but they are growing beautifully. And again, the goats will be able to keep their side of the fence clean, as well as have a nice yummy snack. And all we have to do is continue to mow our side. We would like to have the whole front of this right side of our pasture fence covered in berries. This is our raspberry. We did our 2 raspberries on the end, and then our blackberries in the middle. And again, the deer did get to this one as well. Like I mentioned before, we do organic gardens, so we don't use any pesticides. We're really cautious even about the fertilizers that we use. I have a couple more fruits that I want to show you guys, and then we will wrap up the video. So over here by our big garden is where we planted our cherry tree. And like I said, this one is probably doing the worst out of all of them. But first, our fig tree that we propagated looks amazing. I do have to weed around it. We put 2 over here and they're doing phenomenal. And now for the cherry tree. This is currently the saddest tree that we have. Like I said, the deer got to it, and then as soon as we put the cage around it and the leaves started growing back, the Japanese beetles came out, and apparently they prefer this tree over all of the other trees that we have. Thankfully, it does have new growth and it does seem to be bouncing back. I haven't seen a Japanese beetle on it recently. I actually planted a trap crop near it to keep the Japanese beetles away. So at the head of our pasture here, we planted 2 Nanking cherry bushes, and these are going to get absolutely huge. If I can find a picture of one on the internet, I will post it for you guys. They are beautiful, and they are more of a tart cherry, but they are incredible for pollinators. They will get hundreds of blooms and fruits on them every year. All right, guys, we are back over by the blueberries, and I think that is it for today's video. We updated you on most of the fruits that we grow on the property that mean the most and will be coming back year after year. I cannot wait to keep you guys updated on their production and how much they grow over the years to come. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Tell me down below what your favorite variety of blueberry is. I think we're looking into adding at least 1 or 2 more rows. I have already looked at the all-star blueberry, I think it is. But let me know down below which one you guys like. And as always, thank you guys for watching and happy gardening. I will see you next video.